Rome had conquered the world, but it could not survive itself. Two men stood at the center of power, once allies, now enemies. One defended the Republic, the other would become its master. When Julius Caesar crossed a small river called the Rubicon, he didn't just start a war, he ended a political system that had ruled for 5 centuries. This is the story of ambition, betrayal, and the war that turned Rome from republic into empire. By the 1st century BCE, the Roman Republic was cracking. Generals not Sanitas held real power. Victorious armies no longer fought for Rome alone. They fought for the men who paid and rewarded them. At the center stood 3 powerful figures: Julius Caesar, brilliant general, loved by soldiers; Pompey the Great, Rome's greatest living commander; Marcus Licinius Crassus, richest man in Rome. Together they formed the first triumvirate, an unofficial alliance controlling Roman politics, but alliances built on ambition never last. When Crassus died in 53 BCE during a disastrous campaign against Parthia, balance collapsed, and Rome began choosing sides. For nearly a decade, Caesar fought in Gaul. He conquered vast territories, gained unimaginable wealth, and forged an army fiercely loyal to him personally. The Senate grew afraid. Led by Pompey and conservative senators, they issued an order. Caesar must disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. To obey meant political ruin, possibly execution. To refuse meant treason. Caesar chose war. In January 49 BCE, Caesar stood before the Rubicon River, the legal boundary of Italy. No general was allowed to cross it with troops. He paused, then spoke the words history would never forget. The die is cast. His legion marched forward. Civil war had begun. Pompey and the Senate were unprepared. Rather than defend Rome, they fled south and then across the Adriatic to Greece. Caesar entered Rome without resistance. He seized the treasury and declared himself defender of the Republic, not its enemy. But the real battle was still ahead. Rome would be decided in the east. In Greece, Pompey assembled a massive army backed by the Senate. He outnumbered Caesar nearly 2-1. Most believed Caesar was doomed, but Caesar relied on experience. At Pharsalus, Pompey's cavalry attacked Caesar's flank, exactly as expected. Caesar unveiled a hidden reserve line of infantry. They drove the cavalry into panic. Pompey's army collapsed. The Republic's defenders were shattered in a single day. Pompey fled Egypt. He sought refuge with the young pharaoh Ptolemy XIII. Instead, he was murdered by Egyptian officials hoping to impress Caesar. They misjudged him. Caesar reportedly wept at Pompey's death. In Egypt, Caesar became entangled in a dynastic struggle and allied with Cleopatra. Pompey's supporters regrouped across the Roman world. Caesar fought campaigns in Asia Minor, North Africa, Spain. After a lightning victory at Zela, he sent Rome a famous message: Vini Vidi, Wigi, Ved translated, I came, I saw, I conquered. The final resistance ended at the Battle of Munda in 45 BCE. The civil war was over. Caesar stood alone and returned to Rome as dictator. He enacted sweeping reforms: debt relief, calendar reform, expansion of citizenship, and Senate enlargement. To supporters, he saved Rome from chaos. To enemies, he was a king in all but name. The Republic, though still alive on paper, was already dead. Fear grew among senators. If Caesar could not be stopped, monarchy would return. Caesar had crossed the Rubicon, defeated Pompey, and conquered Rome itself. The civil war was over, but peace never came. The Republic still existed, at least in name. Senators still gathered. Laws were still passed. Yet everyone in Rome understood the truth. One man now held absolute power. Julius Caesar was declared dictator for life. To his supporters, he saved Rome from chaos. To his enemies, he had become a king. And Rome had killed kings before. Behind closed doors, a conspiracy formed. Friends became assassins, and loyalty turned into fear. The next war would not begin on a battlefield, but inside the Senate itself, because Caesar's greatest victory would lead straight to his biggest mistake, and the death of Caesar would unleash a final civil war, one that would give Rome its first emperor. If you want more documentary-level storytelling, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode.